In today's episode, we're gonna go from this. This took a lot longer than I expected.
Speed it up, 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 speed it up. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy. Go faster, ayy.
We're back here at Seal Beam Rally Team. Last time we were here, you saw me paint this thing with the utmost mediocrity.
It's blue.
It's blue. It's all one color now. And, you know, seeing it outside, it doesn't look that bad. I had much lower expectations, actually. I was worried that this little bit of metallic modeling right here would be a lot heavier than it actually is. Overall, not bad.
Man, the body work is worse than the paint, so you got that going for you.
It's just like we talked about in the paint job video. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of time and effort put into making this perfect in any way. But yeah, I mean, looking at it out in the sun now, we definitely learned some lessons about trying to spray a heavy metallic single stage, but it looks fine. I was much more worried about it than I needed to be. I am still disappointed about this. That would be a drop of water that fell off of, I imagine, the airline connection while I was spraying. That was a thing we specifically tried to avoid with air filters. We're gonna be running inline water filters. That's the most annoying fucking thing when you're in the middle of spraying something and it's going well, and then a droplet of water comes out of where your air hose is attaching, just lands right in your shit.
What? That's a spoiler.
Other than that, the only real defects are from prep work that was just good enough just to get it one color. I mean, that was all we were going for. So today is going to be the next step of getting it to look like its final form, because he somehow talked somebody into giving him money to put their name on his car.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gay, but 20 bucks is 20 bucks.
So we're going to go over a few different ways to apply some of these livery pieces that we've cut.
What's up, chicks?
We've got our channel mascots here, we've got you guys here, and it's going to be a good day.
What if it isn't?
It might be. We're gonna have the day that we deserve.
You gotta do mine. Nah! Right. Okay.
Asshole YouTubers walking around with cameras up their asses the whole time. Look at that Supra though. That motherfucker look good. So we're gonna start by cutting these white circles first, just to get a feel for how cooperative vinyl is gonna be today. Hey, watch this. Hey, do you want to share the intricate history of this bicycle?
I love this bicycle.
What kind of bicycle is this?
This is my daily transportation. This is my 2021 Handsome Fredward City 3. It is assembled in Minneapolis. And then I built two tubeless drum brake 3-speed wheel set.
If y'all know what flavor of autism this is, leave it in the comments.
It's my special interest. Whatever, f you.
We need a 22-inch first.
Go for a 22-inch first, yeah.
Don't fuck it up. And what, you're just gonna cut that out by hand with scissors? Oh, with a box cutter? Neat. While he cuts out the circles, I'm going to go ahead and prep the panel that the first one is going on.
So you spray the paint and then you put the vinyl on, then you squeegee the paint, or spray the water out?
Yeah, pretty much, that's the move. That tiny bit of soap lubricity gets it to slide around for you.
Real lubricity.
How's that look up and down to you?
Great.
Yeah?
Maybe down a little bit?
How's about there? That looks pretty good right there.
Yeah, something about a 60s car with a big white dot on the side.
I'm really glad this vinyl has like a clear coat on it, so we don't have to worry about scratching it up doing this. Does it look like I've done this before? That's what I was going for.
A little bit.
Get out of there. Bloop. Bloop. Beep. All right, I'm just gonna go over it a few more passes in pretty much every direction to make sure we've got all the moisture out that we can. And then we hit it with a little bit of heat, hope it's set. More of it should continue to dry out if any does get left behind. I don't know how. It's not sealed in place forever, but it does, just like window tint. Like, where do the water droplets go? They should be trapped in there. I don't know where they go. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out how to get this clear coat off of it. I tried peeling a bit of it, playing with it over here, and it's a very on there layer. It does have a protective clear coat layer that needs to come off. We just gotta find a rough edge to start it. What you got?
It's an Egyptian brain removal tool. Ancient Egyptian. I don't know, maybe it'll work.
I think that's a racism. Was that racist? Hey, it worked.
Hey.
All right,
Brain removed.
this is the official clear coat removal tool of the day. Look at that, all the Sharpie lines come off with it. All of my scuffs and scrapes from getting the water out come right off.
Dent in there, that's nice.
Nice, man, that's clean. It looks like a circle. All right, now let's grab the logo that goes over it. Those are good little letters.
Did you do that wet too?
Yeah, so we did this the exact same way, just soaking it down with good soapy water. Sorry, I didn't grab the camera. My hands were a little full with the sticky thing.
It looks good.
Nah, I think it slaps. I really like this.
Yeah.
Like, the whole vibe I really dig in general. It's a good old school retro rally livery vibe.
I couldn't change the fonts on their logo, but I spent like a couple hours picking the right font for your Red Hen Racing logo. Yeah. It's gonna look nice.
Just hate FB agency, huh? I think my new favorite is Sofa Chrome.
I have not heard of that one.
It's pretty good.
Agency was developed in the early 90s, and I'm looking for stuff that was made in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I don't know when fonts were invented. That's not a thing that I'm gonna know. I'm not going to Google when a given font was created. I guess it never occurred to me that somebody has to make those.
I should say typeface. Technically, the font is like the italic or the bold or the semi-bold. The letter forms themselves are
a typeface.
A typeface.
The difference between a typeface and a font. Yeah. Not something I thought I would learn today.
No one really cares, but
I certainly agree.
It's fun to know information like that. I think it's fun.
I'm glad you're not in charge of what facts are fun.
So you're squeegeeing from the edge of the black to the end of that letter.
Don't pretend that I have any method here. All that matters is that the water is out from under the vinyl we care about.
Yeah, it makes
it when we peel back the transfer layer, all of this will off. I just want that water out of right there. Boop. Fuck that drop of water in particular.
What's your strategy here pulling this off?
Get it off without taking off the thing that we want to stay there. Let's let this vibe and stick for a while, and then and then we'll come back and try to get this transfer layer off. We're trying 2 different transfer tapes today, and this one here is a lot stickier, and it's wanting to pull the letters back up with it. So from the graphics we cut that we used that transfer tape on, we're gonna have to be very careful with getting that back off of it.
Okay.
But on to the next problem. Doors are both done. The hood circle boy is done. This blue is not wanting to peel from the transfer tape very easily, so we're gonna let it sit for a while and kind of set into place, and then we'll come back and hit it with more heat so that it'll transfer easier.
The real problem is under the transfer tape there's too much drip.
Just too much drip. It forgot to turn its swag off, and you'll have that. The body yaddy 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 is just like too slick, and it's not wanting to stick very well. But we'll heat it into place and it'll be fine. So
I've been working off my template here, trying to tape out where I want this arrow to go. We're gonna have arrows on both sides, so I want to make sure that they're gonna be symmetrical and all that.
we just got to make sure they're big enough for the text that's going on them too. Oh, my name goes there. You got to make sure it's big enough for that. He somehow convinced me to help sponsor this thing. I don't know. I just be falling for fucking pyramid schemes and shit all the time. Yeah, something like that.
Just barely the way I planned it. But that is based on alternate Gothic, which is an old like
oh my
60s
god, don't start
font.
talking about fucking fonts again. So now it's time to play with knifeless tape. If you've never played with knifeless tape before, that's how we're going to be cutting these arrows, because like physically cutting the vinyl into these fucky shapes would be incredibly tedious and annoying and probably would not go very well or precise. So we're going to be using knifeless tape to shape them on the car. I'm just going to give you a little quick demonstration here with one of our scrap white pieces. I'm just going to reel some of this off here. Kind of what he's done with that arrow shape there. We're going to do the same thing but with knifeless tape laid out everywhere that we want cut. And then we're going to have an oversized piece of vinyl that lays over it, and you know, this over here is the part we're keeping. We're going to have some excess that lays over it all the way around. And then you take this knifeless tape here, you just take one of the tail ends of it.
Oh, so it's got a cord inside the tape?
Yeah, so there's like
a twist tie almost. Where
like
you pull the
fishing
wire.
line. It's like a really fine filament. So you separate it, and then you just make sure your vinyl is set really good, and you just pull this through it.
Okay.
And that gives you a nice clean cut. And then you just take that back out of there.
Neat.
And then you can, you know, come around your edges with heat to help everything set into place good. This filament's really fine. I don't know if you could see that from up here that far, but it's a really fine filament. Like thin fishing line. So that's what we need to do. We need to take this knifeless tape and completely shape out what we want our shapes to be, and then lay an oversized vinyl over it, and then shoop, cut it to shape. Oh shit,
Leave the same battery.
you're recording normal. That's not a time lapse. Go back to the time lapse. Did I leave you guys on time lapse for like 20 minutes? What the fuck was that? Hood is mostly done. We're undecided on what else arrow-wise might happen here. Driver side's completely done. The door meatball, us, thanks to you guys. Y'all, that's you right there. That's him.
What? I mean, if it weren't for Gavin, I wouldn't have the car painted or the vinyl, so. That's why you see over on the fender here. That's why you see this here. Because Gavin's helping out a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, we're all taped up here. Got about 70.5 inches long by 24
Got
wide.
it.
That's gonna be just barely enough to cover
Just
our
barely enough to.
here.
This took a lot of logistical planning. I'll show you the picture here of how I plotted it out. Showing you on the camera instead of just uploading this picture like a smart person, obviously. You see, I made a green plot the size of this vinyl, and I took all of the pieces and plotted them to see how tight of a fit it was gonna be, and
Get his reaction.
we had just enough wiggle room. Have you seen the driver's side yet? He's been over there sanding on the truck all day.
Oh wow, nice. Sweet. It's very nice.
Thanks.
We made it with love. Man, a few words. So we're gonna see if this big piece here just happens to perfectly fit the other big piece. The smaller arrow on the front fender shouldn't be a big deal to get out of this section here. The pieces that are left on the trunk should be able to come out of that skinny, it's the trunk, you. This is the trunk, that's the frunk.
Nope.
Yes. He keeps calling this the hood or the engine cover, and it's the trunk.
I was gonna hold it up against there and see if it fit.
Oh, it's gonna fit. We're gonna give her a little stretchy stretch if we have to. We're gonna make it fucking fit. I'm super happy with this material, this Avery Dennison vinyl. This stuff is excellent to work with. I've admittedly not played with like a ton of different vinyls. I can guarantee that this is easier and more manipulable. Manipulable?
Malleable.
I don't like that because that specifies being able to bend and unbend in a metallurgy sense, right?
Kind of is a decent.
I mean manipulable. You can set it, and if you want it somewhere else, you can easily pop it back up and put it back down somewhere else. If there's air bubbles, they just fucking wipe right out. It's amazing.
Watching him do it is really amazing because it looks like it's super easy.
Because it is. This is making me think that I could wrap a car. This is some good ass vinyl. It was worth the expensive
all
stuff.
over your Miata or something.
I can put Clark's Corvair parts all over the Supra. Same arrows, same meatballs, everything.
The fun thing is Clark's logo on their website is like this big, and they didn't have a higher res version, so I actually made this from scratch, basically.
He reproduced it from scratch because they had such a small, low-res version.
I'm guessing the graphic designer wasn't at work that day.
When they agreed to sponsor you, they didn't send a care package with files or anything?
No care package, but
damn.
Hey, pretty good people to work with otherwise, so. All right, well.
Let's fuck some shit up. And let's wipe this thing down. And this is just Dawn dish detergent water. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but we're removing specifically the wax that he has put on here because I think that might be why our shit didn't stick on the hood. I might not have wiped it down good enough to get all the wax off of it.
I'm glad that even if you have no idea what you're doing, your confidence inspires me to think that you know what you're doing.
That's all you need. The Navy taught me that all it takes to be a leader is to act like you know literally anything, even if you have no idea what's going on. Just act like you know what's going on, and that's all it takes. Your left hand up. Yep, this way. Go as far as you need first.
Yep, that's as far.
That's all you need?
That's it.
That covers over the door jamb?
Yep.
Oh shit, well, we got plenty then.
Okay.
Boop. We'll set her down. Perfect. And we just barely met up with our tape line.
What up?
Dope.
Oh, yeah.
Get that side marked up. Let's knock this bitch out. Look how easy that is. Shit's kind of expensive. That air bubble right there? Boop.
You think that's
Where did it
expensive?
even go? I don't even understand. Where did it go?
My. If you think that's expensive, you should see the price of gas these days. Oh, gee.
I just siphoned from my neighbors.
That's one way to do it.
Socialism, baby.
You should say words.
You're right. I just say words. I don't know what a socialism is, but I think that's it. It's done. We done it. Well, he still wants to play with another. He still wants to play with another arrow on the hood, possibly with a little bit of the leftover film, but gotta say, shit looks good.
For being early 60s, I think it really matches some of the graphic design weirdness that they put into stuff.
No, I'm very happy with it.
The louvers, that would have been a pain in the ass.
That would have been a pain in the ass.
That's why I did this, so we could avoid the louvers, and it worked out really well.
It did. It worked out very. I still feel like we're missing a rebel flag on the roof, but other than that, shit's hot. Maybe one day it'll actually like drive somewhere. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I gotta get this thing on the road. I have to do a 1,000-mile engine break-in on the Molly rings.
You don't have to break things in. You can just fucking send it. That looks really good.
Thank you for the help.
And there you have it. If you learned a thing or two about a thing or two, feel free to subscribe. I know this wasn't the most informational day. We're educational. If you enjoyed just bopping along to time lapses, hey, you're in the right place. Feel free to subscribe, see what we get into next time. You never know around here what those silly geese are gonna do next. Fucking feds watching. Great man once said, I'll be fresh as hell with the feds watching. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Costco, I love you.
We out here doing hella gang shit.